opportunity for questions after they say a few words.
Thank you very much indeed. I'd like to introduce on my left the President of the Somali National Olympics Committee, Dhiibeen Farah, and on his immediate left is Zamzam Farah Mohammed, who carried the flag for Somalia on that remarkable opening ceremony evening and who competed in the 400 metres. And on her left is Mohammed Hassan, who competed in the 1500 metres. I think that when the Somali flag was carried into that stadium, it was a very poignant moment for everyone who cares deeply about Africa and has been following what's been happening, particularly in the sub-region. And Somalia has been through so many really challenging and difficult times, but to produce a small Olympic team, given all the obstacles that have been in the way, against huge odds, I think it's a really inspiring story. A tiny budget, very little equipment, no track to train on, indeed threats to the lives of some of the people in the team. But then I think what you can take away, both of you, you can take away, I think, a truly remarkable sense of pride and honour of representing your country on the world stage at one of the greatest world sporting events ever. And I think this is, I hope very much you'll build on what you've been able to achieve in coming here, the friends you've made, the impression that you've created. And as Somalia moves to normality, and we hope very much that with the process in Somalia, you're going to have a new government at the end of this month, a new parliament, hopefully a new dynamic sports minister, and with normality will come investment in sport and investment in the future. But I think you are able to be very proud of what you've done. You're going to be able to actually be role models for many young Somalis who hopefully will really, in future Olympic Games, achieve remarkable things. But I think you can be very, very proud of what you've done. Over to you, Dhiibeen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, distinguished guest. Thank you for inviting and welcoming us to such a wonderful surrounding today. Firstly, I would like to congratulate the British government, Lord Coe, and Mayor Boris Johnson on the fantastic job they have done in preparing and organizing this historic London Olympic Games in 2012. What has impressed me the most has been the passion of the British people for sport. You know, people in Somalia also share that passion. The difference is that of many years they have not been able to practice and enjoy sport because of the problems in our nation that you're all familiar with. But now we are at the start of the new dawn in Somalia. The situation is stabilizing, and sport has a vital role to play in regeneration process in helping us return to a normal way of life and a civil society. As the President of Somali National Olympic Committee, I have been spending my time in London meeting with members of the Olympic family and the British government to try and gain support for our cause, to cooperate in using sport as a tool in bringing long-term benefits to Somalia. We had a very good meeting this morning with the minister. So we explained to him that in Somalia our people have the talent and commitment for a world-class sport, but we lack the facilities and resources to harness that potential. I'm optimistic that we will be able to form a partnership between our respective organizations, and I look forward to continued dialogue and progress in the months ahead. Perhaps we could even look to work with Mo Farah, who of course was born in Somalia. And it was made us all very proud to see him winning the 10,000 meters, and hopefully on Saturday we'll see him in the podium winning the gold medal of 5,000. As many know, there will be, as you may know, there will be one or more bids from Africa for the Olympic Games in 2024 or 2028. This reaffirms my belief that Somalia is the beginning of another exciting journey in sport. And who knows, with hard work and strong support, we may see our first ever Somali athlete stepping up on the podium of the Olympic Games in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Darren. So, if there are any questions about any training facilities, without having the right equipment in place at an early time, Mohammed Hassan, I think in your heat you beat the runners from Ireland, Puerto Rico, Yemen, Guinea and Niger. So, if a young Somali athlete can do that with all the obstacles you faced, how much more will you be able to achieve in the future with the right facilities?
Rob, shall I put that?
Yeah, please, yes.
wuxuu yidhi haddii aad samaysay 6 wadan ay kaa dambeeyeen intaan aad samaysay wax ku celin kara malahan future fiican badnala.
And I would like to add on to that, Mohammed, when he came to London, his record was 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And within 10 days training in the proper facilities, he reduced that to 3:46.
Incredible.
Reduced 9 seconds in 10 days of training in the proper facilities. So if he would have a better facilities in a few years, 2 years, or even 1 year, you will never know. Hopefully he will be competing for a gold medal.
Of course.
You acknowledge already that they've been threatened by some extremists back home. If they go back home, would their life be safe? How will they be safe in Mogadishu if they go back? In particular, Samsam.
Yes. Well, I think Somalia is at a crossroads, facing a new exciting dawn. I think with a new government that will be in place by the end of this month, you'll have a new parliament as well. I think that the progress that's been made in Somalia has been remarkable. But I think the challenge now is to win the peace. Shabab have been kicked out of Mogadishu. They've been kicked out of many places in the south and the west. But the challenge now is to win the peace. And it's not just a question of education and health. It's a question of, I think, bringing hope to young people, and sport can play a very important part in that. And I know that our ambassador, Matt Ball, one of his priorities is going to be to work with the new government to see where the donor community, including the UK, where we can actually add a lot of value to what's happening in the communities in the future and giving young people hope. And obviously, good governance and security are going to be essential here. If there's good governance, normality and security, then I think young athletes like Zamzan and Mohammed will be able to be confident that they will be safe and will have a secure future. And we will do all we can. That's been absolutely part of our policy for Somalia, to bring that about.
As you said, Minister, there is a financial support to the Somali Sports Olympic. Viva and the other organization already had a fund to support Somali sports and Olympic. And so far there was nothing gone to the right place to pull the grounds and the sports center and train proper training to Somali athletics. So as a British government, how you make sure the investment you go into to do to the Somali sport is to go well and better spent into the right places? And the same question to the Turan, how the other allegation is about not to use the right way the British fund from Viva other organizations into the Olympic. How you answer that question?
Yes. Well, thank you very much. I think there are two very important points there. First of all, I think any funding that comes from the international community or from the private sector needs to be properly accounted for. And obviously, one of the things that we're very keen to see for the new government in Somalia is this.
Answering for the Football Federation or other federations, what is happening in international federations between the other federations. But in the Olympic movement, all the budget or any finance we receive. This is a small amount. Each country, which is part of the International Olympic Committee, receives. So there's a carbon flat rate of every country gets, whether it's Britain or Somalia or USA. But that's not a budget. And that is the amount of finance that our sports movement and our sports programs have been working. It's not a budget or a finance you can build into facilities, or you can get equipment and other things like that, but to run a basic activities to keep up the flame of the sports and Olympics into that part of the world. And that's what we actually embarking into new vision and a new dawn in Somalia, and hopefully that's what we want to, we're aiming to. We've set up and have a proper laid down strategic plan, which we wanted we already started establishing it, and part of that is actually having a proper governance and an accounting system, which we have. And also, hopefully, if we're going to want to expand and make it bigger and get attracted more international sponsors or funding, we're aiming to have to set up a trust fund for sports development for Somalia with independent external trustees. Hopefully, we're going to have famous people, hopefully people like Mofar and others, to be trustees on that. And actually, we can guarantee and actually show that we will be capable and transparent enough to do and actually work on what we have been assigned to and do it. And hopefully, that's something we're expecting to be done.
How they've actually, what they'd be their enduring memory from being here in London, this event, and how they feel. I know that they've travelled around, they've been to Manchester, I believe, and possibly Birmingham as well, but how they feel that the British people have received them here, and what they will go back and tell their people in their own country about being here in London and being in the UK.
ما يصير عرفتين سودوينتي سيدين هاي وحياة خبرة ده مركب نقطين قد بين كرتان
أدي أنا وفرح نسيد إنه لسه دبي إلا هذا وحنا أركينا سيف يعني إنه لسه دبي وحما تا لما كل من قف كسوار تسيف يعني كوسو دبينا يا إلا إيمانه إلا بركة كسو دقن إلا هذا وح دبته ما كلنا ملها سيف يعني بقول سيف يعني إنه لسه دبي
ولا مد يعني سوي نفس وانا لو سودوي إن وده ونحسن واني ماني إن قبرة كلية مكان قانو إن حمر لا تجدون وحنا قانو سا وده بربرسن إيه وده نسني نسوسكم مدهن.
أنا تقولي ده ما بدي. قولي سنبري.
إن يعني ودرامي كرتا وحن كني معنا مقدشو إن وكو أذكتا ترينين إن لو سميو خاصة قبلها نوي أذكتا إن سميان مركا يعني وحنا قناصا إن يعني وطن إن دبعتك جفتان كيماني وطن لسنا أني ماني أون يعني وجود بين دونا ذاتك كيماني إن وطن كان ويا وطن ببرسان وطن لسنا عن سواء رجني.
This is the second question, what they hope to do next, whether they want to carry on with their athletic career after the Olympics.
وحويري ترينكيني
المدح الصومالي مقدشة لاتي كوب السنة لسودافة دقالي بربريا كجري جيم في عن ملهن قرون في عن اللقور دا ملهن قرون كي عرواي مش اللقور دايو جيم في عن مهليسيد لبات أدي أدوين أيا كجرتو هذا دان لا وننا عرض كان واسيود دونا هدو إلهي رهدو ما جوجين دونو لكن سي هدي لغون نقضو لب بربر إنا لسي كل انتظار لغيابا هدي لكن سي ميلك على توبر لغو جيو كله إنا سعادة هذا السمين تكسي في عنا انتظار لغيابا كنا قرشة كنا قلنا إن نرتوى ودن كيني أدوى وفرح سنة لكن ودن بربري ويلي هدنا لباتوين كيسي آدي هدنا وسي جيران هدنا لغبرت المامات سنة ماشي محاو تقتل لغو لي هاي محادث كسكولة سورت لغو لي هاي يا ريب كده هذا
training lagu sameeyo muqdisho qaasatan gabdhii ay training ku sameeyaan haddana haddii yacni in lagu noqdo wadankii ma lahan garoon caalamiya oo lagu caalamiiteeyo garoonkii waa garoon burbursan waa dareemi kartaa maxamed muqdisho wuxuu ku sameeyey 3 daqiiqo 55 inta markuu imaaday 10 beri uu joogo wuxuu sameeyey 3 daqiiqo 46 farqiga u dhaxeeyo waa dareemi kartaa marka in meelo kale haddii training lagu sameeyo waa dad mustaqbal waa noqonayna laakiin way adag tahay sameynta muqdisho training lagu sameeyo.
If I could just sum it up.
And Farah, who stepped in, as you possibly are aware, after the tragic death of his predecessor, Aidan Yarborough Wish, and you stepped in and have done a really fantastic job. And once again, a very big thank you to the 2 young athletes. And we wish you well for the future, because I think you can be very proud of what you've done against all the odds, coming here to fly the flag for your country.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.